Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to our goddess series. I'm so excited about the goddess we're talking about tonight. She is incredibly cool, and as I researched her, I liked her more and more. The goddess we are talking about tonight is Brigid from Ireland. I've seen her called the goddess of everything, the goddess of contradictions. She is most known for being the goddess of healing and of poetry and of smithing. So, on that tantalizing note, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're using, and then I will tell you the story of Brigid. Okay, so this is a 24 by 30 inch gallery wrapped canvas from Artist's Loft. I have taped and pinned the back, and I have painted my sides and edges with one of my colors. So let's move that out of the way, and I will show you what colors we are using. Okay, this first one is Deco Art Americana Decor Metallics in emerald green. And it is beautiful. I love this color. I have loved this color since I first used it in my 48 by 60 called Gorgon's Grotto, which was amazing. That was so much fun. It was a pretty crazy video too. But this is our emerald green from Deco Art. Really beautiful stuff. This is our 24 karat gold from Deco Art. Love this color. So beautiful, so shimmery. There is nothing quite like this color of gold. So I love that one. Next we have a Pebeo Iridescent Orange Yellow. This is one of my little love affairs that I've been having recently, and I really like this color. Every time I use it, it just makes me happier, and it's so beautiful and shimmery and has that gorgeous magic trick where it color shifts. It's just a really pretty color. So that's our Orange Yellow. This one is a combination of Cadmium Yellow Deep and some Amsterdam Naples Yellow. So, kind of a mid-tone. Beautiful stuff. My pouring medium tonight is my Golden's Heavy Gel Gloss and Floetrol. Nice and thick, creamy, leaving a mound on a mound, but sinking into itself pretty quickly. Okay. And last but not least, we have also Pebeo Studios Iridescent Copper. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. So, a little bit of background about why I chose the colors that I did. I chose the emerald green, of course, for Ireland. St. Patrick's Day is here. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. And this color just screams rolling hills of Ireland to me. The orange and the yellow and the copper. Well, the copper I chose because it reminds me of this fire-headed, beautiful Irish goddess that we're talking about, Brigid. And the orange and the yellow, some of her colors that she's associated with are fire colors. So that's where that comes in. And also she is a goddess of welcoming spring. So they're sort of happy springtime colors. So we're going to layer a couple of cups. That's a 24 by 30, which means we need roughly 26 ounces of paint. I have 16 ounce cups here. I am going to layer 2 of them. That will give us 32 ounces of paint. I'm okay with that. I like to have a little bit more paint than I need, because then I can choose the composition that I'm going to keep rather than tilting everything and over tilting it and overstretching it and losing something I want. And so I'd rather have a little bit extra paint is always fine with me. I hope I have enough paint to fill 2 cups now. Okay, so I actually did this pour the other night, and I used a lot of green in it because of St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, and I like how it came out. Actually, let me show it to you. But I think there's a little bit too much green in it. So tonight I want to do a pour similar to this, but with not as much green in it. So you can see the iridescent orange yellow, you can see the copper, or I can. You see a lot of that beautiful emerald green and some of that yellow in there. So similar to this, but different colors, more focus on the other colors and less on the green. So that's what I want to have happen.
I like all the green.
I like it too. It's pretty. It's just because of the goddess and what she's associated with that I want to see more of the fire colors than anything else. Okay. So
That piece looks even better than it did when we shot it.
yeah, turned out really cool. Okay, so let's layer some cups. All right. Let's see. Let's start with a little bit of gold at the bottom of both. And I'm gonna go right into that orange yellow. And some of the yellow. I'm going to put some copper in there. I'm going to do a layer of white. And some gold. And the emerald green. I'm going to put another layer of white on the other side of that. Now we're going to go back to our gold again. Orange. Yellow. Copper. Let's see if we can get one more layer of orange and yellow in there. So I'm going to put a little white first. So you'll notice we only have one layer of green in there, and that's intentional because I want this one to be more about those springtime colors, the orange and the yellow and the copper, rather than so much about the green. So interesting experiment. Okay. One of the colors that is often associated with Brigid is white. So because of that, we are going to be using a white flow extender / base coat color. This is my Amsterdam titanium white, and this is mixed with that same Golden's heavy gel gloss and Floetrol, but there's a lot more Floetrol than gel gloss in this one because I wanted this a little bit thinner than my other paint. So we're actually going to put down a puddle of this. I'm going to kind of tilt that out a little bit. And we're gonna flip our cup into this. Are you ready, husband of awesomeness?
Aye, lass, that I am.
Here we go. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Just give that a second. Okay, so I'm anticipating a lot more of the orange and the yellow and the copper and little streaks of the green. Not nearly as much green as we had before. Here we go. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna lift it up and look at it, and then I'm gonna lip it. That's pretty. One more time. Okay, cool. I'm gonna flip this one right over here, and I'm gonna kind of make sure that it overlaps a little bit.
Okay.
Here you go. Couple magic taps. Okay. Ready here?
Yep.
Here we go. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit more flow extender around this. Okay, so this is looking pretty good so far. We're just going to give this a minute to percolate and let the specific gravity of the different paints sort of find where it wants to be. Let any cells that want to come up to the top come on up. This is so pretty right here, HOA. Can you see all these? That's beautiful. This makes me very happy. I love it.
Kind of looks like a shamrock patch.
I love all these colors. They're so pretty. Okay, so while we let that percolate, I'm going to tell you guys about Brigid. So, The thing that Brigid is most known for is actually three things. She is the goddess of healing, the goddess of poetry, and the goddess of smithing. So those three aspects are the most well represented parts of her. But she's also a protectoress. She protects mothers and children and home and livestock. She's known as the goddess of fertility. That goes along with the whole motherhood, home, children. But also a very big aspect of her is also depicted as the trinity of those three things, the healing and the poetry and the smithing. So she's sort of depicted as three goddesses, which ties in and marries into that maiden, mother, and crone that you see so often in mythology. The maiden, the young, beautiful girl right on the brink of her life. The mother as we get older and we have our own children and we are more nurturing and caring and giving and not so much focused on ourselves but rather our families. And then in our golden years, the crone, who is wise and educated and experienced and knowledgeable and revered for that knowledge and experience. So that maiden, mother, and crone philosophy also is basically talking about the cycles of life and the interconnectedness of all of life. I first chose Brigid because I learned that she was the goddess associated with the coming of spring. And it's not so much the flowers popping up that Brigid is associated with. She has a festival to her on Imbolc, which is usually February 1st. And the festival is celebrating the coming of the light and the end to the longer, darker days of winter. So this theme of sunlight and light in her is interesting because her name, Brigid, is spelled a few different ways and pronounced a couple of different ways, but the very root of it is the old Celtic word bride, or brid, depending on how you want to say it. And this word bride is also, it means rising light, it means colors of the dawn, it means the dawn and sun coming through and lighting everything up. So, which is interesting because the word bride is also part of Briganti, which is an older name in Celtic mythology for this idea of a goddess of light and bringing sunlight in. So, and this is actually the origin of our word bright, B-R-I-G-H-T. So I thought it was very, very cool. Brigid is often associated with waterways and wells and springs and the healing aspects of those waterways. People would go and travel far to come to the spring of Brigid and, bathe in it or have like cleansing rituals or drink from the springs to heal themselves. And she always helped them, everybody who came to her springs. So they're still revered today. And actually, HOA, I don't know if you know this or not, after Fluid Art Boutique is finished in Dublin this year, we have a tour planned to go to this place called the Cliffs of Moher. And in the Cliffs of Moher is actually one of Brigid's springs. Her holy, there's like 2 or 3 really holy places in Ireland for Brigid, and this is one of them, is right there at the Cliffs of Moher, so we'll actually be able to see it, which is really cool.
I dig it.
Yeah. So other than the aspect of spring, one of the things that I thought was most interesting was when everything I was reading was talking about smiths and how she is the goddess of the smith. And it's not just smiths who create metal weapons and tools, it's also craftsmen, artists, and, furniture makers and cabinet makers and people who make and build things. These are all people who really love Brigid, and she is a source of inspiration for them and helps them with inspiration and creativity. And that same idea of fertility plays into that. Fertility of the spirit, fertility of your ideas and your creativity. This is one of the reasons she's beloved by poets everywhere, and authors all over Ireland still credit Brigid with their inspiration for their books and their success. So it's kind of cool. Going back to the smith thing, I think was really neat. One of the things they were talking about was the fire aspect, and how fire is such a big part of this cycle of creation and destruction, and the duality of fire in such. And her colors are really represented by these fire colors, these yellows and oranges and coppers and gold. And there was something I was reading that was really cool. It was talking about how in a smith you use fire, you burn wood to create fuel, to create warmth and heat, and that heat then is used to create molten metal that you can shape into tools or into weapons. that further extends the creation and destruction cycle. Like if the tools are used to smooth out a field and remove rocks and remove roots so that they can plant crops, that's that creation cycle. But there's also a destruction aspect to it, using the tools to harvest the crops at the end of the cycle. And also using weapons is destructive as well, but also gives room to creation of monarchies and new kingdoms and new governments and new leaders. So this cycle of creation and destruction is really prevalent through all the things I've read about Brigid so far. So she's a very cool goddess. I really like her a lot. There was one poem I found that I wanted to read to you guys. It's not long, but it was very cool. This is by a lady named Emma Jane Leeson, and it says, "I am Brigid. I am she, I am the one, the maiden, the mother, the crone, and the sun. I play with fire, I dance with the flames. I am the water that heals all pain. I am Brigid, I am she, powerful and feminine, there is no one like me. I am the goddess, I am the source. Respect me wisely, or feel my force." So she's a pretty cool goddess. So I'm very happy with studying her and learning about her. I've really enjoyed it a lot. I think she's kind of awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed that too. If you want to find out more about Brigid, you can just simply type in Brigid the Goddess, and or Brigid Irish Goddess, and there's a whole slew of information. There's even classes you can take about her, which are kind of awesome. So let's take a look at this. This is looking pretty cool. See, as we've given it a few minutes to percolate, these cells have grown and expanded, and I see different colors inside them. I see the Naples yellow, or the yellow color. I see the orange. I see the copper. I see the gold, and definitely green. Not as much green as last time, which I'm happy about. And you'll remember I also put a layer of white on either side of the green intentionally to kind of get some of these lighter green tones going too. So let's tilt this out and see what happens. Looks like an explosion right now. We're going to find the way to the paint, and we're going to walk it down to that corner over there. We're going to take it over the edge. I like that little cell. Oh well. Bring this back to the center. And we're going to just shove it over that edge. Take it back to the center and let it go down off that edge and now off the corner. Okay. Take this back to the middle again. And now we're going to just walk it down nice and easy. That's pretty. That's pretty. I like it. What do you think, honey?
Yeah, I like a lot.
I love that those colors are so distinct. That orange is really popping over there. Okay. This is pretty cool. I love these big boulder cells that we've got going on in here. I like the flow and the movement that they're creating. I love the color. There's like 2 or 3 different colors in there. I like that there are cells, but I'm happy there's not 10 million of them. I like this a lot. I like all these little white ones coming up through here. I love the contrast between that emerald green and these softer peachy orange tones. I like that there's copper underneath here. That as it dries, it's going to turn more coppery. Right now it kind of looks murky, but we have a lot of the orange yellow in here, and this is really pretty. I'm really happy with the colors and the way that there's movement, and I think it's kind of giving me fire, and it's giving me Ireland with the green, and I like that there's little islands. It's kind of fun. So this is pretty cool. I will show you guys in its next stage of dryness at the end of this video. I wish you all a very, very happy St. Patrick's Day. And, you know, if you ever need any help with some creativity or inspiration, maybe light a candle to Brigid and ask for some help, and she may inspire you. I hope you guys enjoyed this one tonight. We'll be right back with dried results. Okay, so this is a few days later. It's not completely dry, but it is drying around the edges. Just the center's a bit wet. This one came out really, really cool. I love all of these colors. That iridescent orange yellow, and the copper, and the yellow, and of course the emerald green. Really, really cool stuff. Beautiful cells. I like that. Remember, we only had 1 layer of green in this whole thing in each cup. But because we lipped it, we spread that around quite a bit. So this is pretty cool. I think Brigid would be happy. I see kind of like a giant pea pod right here. And some sort of mystical sea creature. But this was awesome. I really like these colors. I hope you guys can see this color shift here in the corner where it's dry. That iridescent orange yellow is just amazing. But this one turned out pretty cool. I really like this one. There was one popular saying that people still say in Ireland today, where they say, "Brigid has me on the anvil," which literally is a reference to the smiths and us humans being a molten lump of metal that she is hammering into shape to become what we need to be. So I thought that was pretty cool. This one really reminds me of those beautiful fire colors and the story about Brigid's cloak made of sunbeams protecting everyone in Ireland if it has to. So this one is going to be Brigid's Sunbeam. Thank you all so much for being here with us throughout the Goddess series. When it's completely dry, I will show you in the next video. But there's some pretty cool stuff here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please give me a like, leave me a comment, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.